When you change the way you perceive life, you change the emotions, you change your experience of life. I always tell people, you don't experience life. You experience the life you focus on. Mm-hmm. So if you're pissed off, you're only focused on things that could piss you off. You're deleting all the things you could be grateful for or loving. If you're really happy, you're deleting all things that could piss you off. Mm-hmm. And so what's wrong is always available, so is what's right. So it's developing habits of what you value, what you believe, and the rules that drive you that really helps people to create lasting change. But we all go through these stages, and it's easy to get depressed when your world doesn't match the way you thought it's supposed to be. So it's really changing the conditioning. If we can find the part of you, there's a part of your identity that's more than the things that you can limit yourself. There's a part of you that's more than anything that's ever happened to you or could happen to you. There's a part of you that is what's called soul or spirit, right? It's something that nothing can destroy. Mm-hmm. If we get you to tap into that aspect of identity, we can create a compelling future. Just think of it this way. If you've got the greatest computer in the world and you plug it in, there's not enough electricity, it's not going to work right. Well, tired is the first step to being depressed for most people. Yeah. And most people are tired not because they're working so hard. Like, oh man, I worked so hard today. Well, what'd you do? Oh, I had meeting after meeting. You know, I sat in these meetings, you know, and I talked to people, or I make calls, or I sent emails, and they're like, I'm exhausted. Yeah. I mean, what's happened is we haven't pushed ourselves physiologically for so long that we've gotten weaker and weaker, and so we feel tired from doing nothing. Mm-hmm. And so what you learn when you go through a weekend like that is, holy shit, there is a level of energy on command that's available to me that no one, you never believe, but by being in the environment over and over again, you learn it's real and you learn to use it. And when there's enough energy, everything else works better. Your relationship is not going to be great no matter what tools you have if you're tired. Because you're going to go, love you, you know, there's no passion, there's no aliveness, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to grow your business when you're tired. But at a really fundamental level, the first key, if you're not where you want to be, is you got to feed and strengthen your mind. In other words, you're basically, whatever, it's garbage in, garbage out. We all know that, right? Every day, you got to stand guard at the door of your mind. If you do that every single day, it'll accumulate over the decades until you'll be at a point where you won't even believe all that you've experienced and lived. Right. But I don't go, oh, let me see when I'm ready. Let me, you know, maybe in 5 minutes, or let me count to 3. It's just like when I say go, we go. And so it trained my body and my mind that when I say we're going to do something, this is what we're going to do. There's no internal negotiation with me. And that is a practice that's both physical and mental for me. Mm-hmm. So identity is how you define yourself. And what's interesting is, you know, you can think of it as a thermostat on the wall. If we set the thermostat to be what our identity is, which our identity is not what we want, it's what we believe we are, right? Currently, not our desires, but what we're comfortable with, right? So if 68 degrees represents your emotional comfort, or 68 degrees is how financially comfortable, you may want more, but that's what you're used to at 68 degrees, or 68 degrees is intimacy, how close you get with someone before you tighten up or push away or start to sabotage it. Well, that's my comfort zone. Well, if the temperature drops to 62, 61, 60, there's a point where the computer says, hey, what are you doing down here at 60? You're 68 degree. And you get this push, this drive, the heaters kick on to heat you up and give you drive to change. Well, we've all experienced that. We got so bad, it's like, not another day, not an hour, I'm changing this now, finally, right? Because you hit that. But what most people don't know, it happens on the other side. If 70 or 68 degrees is your center, and then all of a sudden you go to 78, 88, 98, 100 degrees, all of a sudden somewhere in your brain's going to go, whoa, what the hell are you doing up here? You're 68 degree, or you're not 103 degree, or what the hell? Right. And the first thing happens is you lose the drive, the heaters stop. And the second thing is that's not enough, the air conditioners kick on and you start to sabotage to get back down to where you think you need to be. Mm-hmm. So shifting identity is the most important piece. By understanding in the worst times, you know, that's when the greatest investment opportunities happen. But it's times of the greatest pessimism when you'll get your greatest opportunity. You know, the fundamentals don't change. What you need to do to have a quality life is pretty fundamental. If you take care of your body, your mind, your emotions, you got a great plan, you got some, you know, role models that make it more real to you that it's really possible, and you're in proximity with smart people and you're constantly giving, you're going to win. We all have a way of defining who we are. And the definition of who you are is also who you're not. Get out of yourself by doing more for others than yourself. It's like, if I can focus on giving more than receiving, that'll shift. So I started working back then. I'd go and literally I had no money myself, but I'd go feed people at the local Salvation Army place, during the lunchtime and so forth, and volunteer my time. And it made me remember, hey, I got it better than I think I do. And it also made me remind myself that life's not just about me, it's about giving. So you have multiple identities, you're just not paying attention. You've reassociated to one part of yourself. So there's a part of you that will always whine and complain if you let it. Right? So we can sit here and try to do therapy on that part of you and all that shit, or we can put in charge the part of you that kicks ass and takes names. And there is a part there. There's a part of you that won't settle. There's a part of you that finally says, enough of this shit, and will step up. What's more important for life? A philosophy of life that makes you happy, or pragmatic skills that give you financial freedom? You can have beautiful days in winter, but some winters are short, some are long, some are hard, some easy, but you don't go from reaping in the fall straight to the next springtime. You go through winter, which is what strengthens us. You start to realize that, listen, everybody's going to have their time to face challenges. Everybody's going to have their chance to grow. And I think millennials and Z generation are going to be two of the strongest generations in history because they're going to face some real challenges. They haven't yet. They think they have, but they haven't yet. How do you get stronger? You have to become more valuable. You have to not say what I want. You got to say, what does the world need? And I got to retool myself to help meet those needs. And if you focus on adding value, doing more for others than anybody else in anything, you'll become one of the masters in that area. And when you're really great in that area, you build a brand. And when you build a brand, people come looking for you. You don't have to go looking for them. And you're going to grow during whatever season we're in. They were asking Warren Buffett the other day, what do we do? What's your advice about inflation? And he said, don't worry about inflation. Invest in you. Work on you. And he said, invest in yourself. Because if you can be the best lawyer or the best doctor or the best writer or the best whatever, it doesn't matter what happens to the valuation of the dollar. You're going to get plenty of whatever that thing is, and you're going to dominate in the marketplace. So I think it's time for people to retool. Instead of being fearful, it's like move forward. So we all know people that have been through hell and back, or all hell's breaking loose, and they're unshakable. And it doesn't mean they don't feel anything. It's like they stay in the center of it, and they figure out how to take advantage of the problem. Everything we do is controlled by 3 decisions, including money. And the first one is, what are you going to focus on? Whatever you focus on, that's what you experience. I focused on there's food. What a concept. This is exciting, right? The second decision is the most important one, though. Whatever you focus on, your brain then has to decide what that means. You can go from where you are to where you want to be, but you have to change your association. So I initially thought, I'm going to make a lot of money so my future family doesn't, have that challenge. But I'm going to do it in a way that adds value to people. I'm going to do it in a way that is worth tenfold when anybody pays me, If I could be smarter, should I? Yes. If I could be more generous, should I? Yes. If I could grow emotionally, should I? Yes. So if I could grow financially, should I? Of course the answer is yes. Why would it be different than anything else? Because I was like, you're not spiritual if you're financial. And then I made $1 million the next year, from 38,000 to $1 million, because I just focused on adding value, changed everything, my body, my mind, everything. And then I made the same amount of money for like 6 straight years, even though I was building new companies, helping more people, because somewhere in my mind, more than $1 million a year, you're a selfish F, what the hell's wrong with you?